I started playing touch probably when I was like 17. Actually, I was a bit later than probably these two. I played cricket and soccer growing up, raced pigeons as well. So touch was something we did in high school when we didn't play league. And then first junior state cup was in Wollongong 2005 and played against Dill actually. He was playing Central Coast. We were all a lot skinnier then, long hair I'm pretty sure, long black hair, and yeah man, fell in love with the sport then, and the people involved and seeing families around it was pretty cool. When did you start, Dill?
Mate, I started when I was 8, and it was the Central Coast Dolphins. Back then it was Aaron Terrigal touch. But yeah, it was back then. Played under 8s, under Dean Wilbo, pumper, old pump. So played under them, and it was my brother's age group, so it was like under 12, so I was a bit of a passenger back then. But it was always good, just playing with the older fellas. But yeah, Central Coast is sort of where it all started, and obviously these days there's a few more guys coming through the ranks, like Chris Lennon and all that sort of stuff coming through Central Coast Dolphins now as well, so it's not a bad club to be a part of.
What about you, Drum?
I think I was about 8 or 7 or 8, and it was in Auckland, at Cox's Bay in Auckland. That comp's still going over there, and yeah, my parents were playing, so the kids played before the adults. So yeah, I just started over there when I was about 7 or 6.
And when did you move here?
I was 17 when I moved here.
And straight into the Sharks men's back then? Or?
No, I went 1 year of 20s.
Yeah.
And then straight in Sharks men's.
And then won your first year of men's?
No, second year. Second year we won the men's.
Is that the first year when you played Lismore? Did you play Lismore 20s that year?
That was my first, Lismore 20s,
Oh,
yeah.
That was the good old days, eh?
No, yeah, bro.
I remember that. We started playing, and Pumpo again, he was coaching us, and we got in the 20s, and then he just finished. Was that the same year as you played with Pump and Benj and that in the...
yeah. Yes, it was in the World Cup.
Yeah.
03?
Yeah.
In the mixed team?
In the mixed team, yeah.
Yeah, so we were playing, and we were going all right. Like, we had a decent side, and this guy was playing for Lismore with, I think...
So I think it was the quarter-final where we played UZ.
Yeah, and Pump comes over and goes, boys, you should be all right, but just watch this guy over here, you know, this skinny fella, he had boardies on. And I'm like, who's this fella? And he goes, oh, he's just got a good left foot step. And we're like, yeah, he doesn't look like too much top. You know what I mean? No one's seen him before, bro. He comes out, whack. We're just like, yeah, just watch his left foot, bro. Oh, yeah. It was hectic. So that was my first experience of drum. So that was pretty cool.
Then mine was 07.
Oh, yeah.
So I played 18s, 05 against you, then went into the Rebels men's with Chris Ferguson was coaching with Christopher Johnson and that.
Yeah.
I think we played you fellas out on the backfield and used tore us to shreds, and then we come up against Sharks. And obviously we knew who Drum was.
Yeah.
And never witnessed how good he was live, and then being that saver middle, you just see him go left, and then all of a sudden he was over there. I'm like, fuck to get over there. But yeah, man, like,
it's crazy.
Grateful that you both play the sport. Like, two of the best I've got to play with and got to be around for sure. Yeah, I started with my parents really. Mum and dad supported me doing everything, cricket, soccer, and then when I got into touch, they were just making sure I chased dreams I had. Like, as I said, when I started, I didn't realise that you could play for your country. In touch, I was like, oh, so there's more levels to go. But coaches we probably all had that were not parents, they just people at the club that would put their hand up and coach you and do everything to make you a better person and a better player. And then everybody from people that work in the canteen at the clubs to letting you run your own barbecues to, you know, raise some money so you can fly over and represent your country at World Cups, go to Origins. I think, you know, especially in touch, we talk about families, but the volunteers that do everything for, you know, I know your kids play at the moment and Orlando's probably going to play, but what the coaches do for your kids and the volunteers that don't have kids that come out and coach and do everything, I think our sport would be nothing without them, eh?
Bro, 100%. For myself and Emily especially, like when I was, when we were sort of coming through the ranks in the 18s and stuff, there was one person that came to mind, Kathy Gray, in the Australian area. And like we started back then, it was in Christchurch, and you know, you do young, dumb, stupid things. She's always there, like sort of being a mum to you, you know what I mean? Looking after you, make sure you're doing the right thing. And that was for Emily and I back then. And then even when we've, you know, later days, and Emily, just before Emily retired and stuff like that, she had Brooklyn. So obviously I think we might have been one of the first couples to sort of have kids on tour and all that sort of stuff. So for us to take them to trainings, take them overseas and all that sort of stuff, it was never ever a problem. Like they just pretty much just made it nice and easy for us. You know, they'd always look after them while we're training. They'd feed them. You know what I mean? It's like real family orientated sort of thing. So they're constantly, you know, asking us how the kids are. They're seeing them. They're talking to them. So yeah, Kathy Gray especially for us was just a massive help, and just made everything, the transition from, you know, home life and stuff going into sport, just so much easier for us. So grateful for them.
Mine's like all my family and friends that are done at touch. Like I've got like 3 kids that are actually playing at the moment, and we're going from field to field to field. And then I have my youngest one, Hilton. He's just gone, you know. Everyone knows him at touch, you know. Like he's just following everyone. Everyone feeds him. Like you never like. Sometimes we don't even know where he is, really.
Yeah.
But he's just gone. But everyone knows him. They take him under their wing, you know. They look after him, feed him, everything, man.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about, you know, touch. Like we're all family, you know what I mean. And our kids grow up together, become all good friends, and like us, you know what I mean.
Yeah, 100%.
We look out for each other.
And you talked about before, like you got to be coached by Pumper. Like, you know, you got to play with him. I've never played with Pumper. I played against him, but like for Central Coast, he's probably one of the biggest, well-known people in Central Coast touch, and what he's done for that club. Still, I think coaching now and playing.
Yeah.
Was he one of, you know, big influence for you as well?
But 100%. There's in touch football, man. Like my life sort of obviously starting at 8 o'clock. Starting at 8. Starting at 8. The age of 8. Like my mum played touch. My dad refed. So, you know, they were both high up in the sport anyway. So I was always around it. So being around Pump and all those sort of guys, I've got, you know, there's Terry Cooper, the Hornsby, like he was my Hornsby coach. You know, I've lived with him and Chris Cooper for 3-4 years. You know what I mean? When I was travelling to Sydney and all that sort of stuff, like he's a massive influence for me. You know, Tony Trad, probably the same thing for you as well. Like he's a bit of a father figure sort of thing, like massive, like always there, giving advice, doesn't matter, always talking about my kids and seeing how they are, you know, even 4 years ago, done something stupid, fell off a roof, and you know, him and Dean Russell and, you know, Bus Bowl and Mark turned up to the hospital to see how I was, constantly still just giving me life lessons, and I'm, you know, 34, 35 back then, so still learning from these fellas, and it's just, it's yeah.
But with Tread, like, mate, he's like a father, like, he'll pull us into line. He's the first to pull us into line, you know, whenever we're in the wrong or we think we're right. But he done a lot for my career, like, put us on the right path, really, because we did some stupid stuff when, you know. Yeah. But he's been great for us.
And he's probably, you know, arguably one of the best coaches to ever coach our sport.
He's the Bennett.
He's the best.
He's the Wayne Bennett.
He's the best.
And how was that? Like, I never got to get coached by Trad. No, Traddy really well. Like, you've went to 2 World Cups with Traddy. You played 3.
Yeah, I went
3 World Cups with Traddy. You both went to 3. Yeah. Obviously, you've won everything. But how's he like? How did he prepare you boys to get ready for a tournament like that?
Well, he changed at the start when we first went in there. He was a bit of a hard unit, you know what I mean? Like, it was pretty much his way or the highway kind of thing. Like, it was sort of, he knew what he was doing and it was successful. And but I think when it sort of changed, I don't know what year it was, I'm not real good with the years, but it changed when we've got people like George Palau, who's, you know, Polynesian boy, he's Tongan, very shy. So when Traddy's talking to you, he expects you to sort of look at his eyes and, you know, and respect him. Whereas, you know, you speak to a Tongan fellow like that and he's sort of looking at the ground and he's like, yes, yeah, like, you know what I mean, kicking stones and stuff. So I think it was a bit of a learning curve for Traddy at the same time. But, mate, he's honestly the smartest coach to step foot on the field. Like, he's just so good. Like, if any of the times get tough, he's sort of, you know, we're coming off and we're all flustered. It's literally like, we're not waiting for the answer. He's like, Dylan, come here, Drum, come here. Okay, this guy's doing this, this, and this. You need to go out there and go bang, 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 do this, this, and this. And we're like, oh yeah, sweet, no dramas. We'll go out there, we'll do it, we score, and we're just like,
smart man.
You know, we take it. Like they go, oh yeah, Drum done this, and how good was that? But it's the mind behind it that sort of says, this is what this guy's doing. You know what I mean? He's like a bit of a sponge. So,
but he's got that respect. They like, you listen, like everyone listens to him. Like, that's the best thing about him.
You've never been coached by him?
No, unfortunately, no. So, but I do a lot of work with him. Like, play a bit of golf with Trad, talk golf, talk family, talk touch. But he's helped me, you know, probably in the last 2 30s campaigns for New South Wales. Like, he's been around and just sort of saying, just back yourself. But I'm seeing this, and even at the recent Origin, playing 30s, his physio was on the phone, and I was in the sub box and it just come off, and he goes, "Yeah, Trad wants to talk to you." Yeah. So what's going on? He goes, "Run this when you go on." I was like, "Yeah, no worries." I've asked these guys in the box, but if you think it's going to work, let's see what happens. Go out there, we score.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, how'd you read that? I said, no, it was a phone call I had with Trad during the game. So I would have been loved to coach by him, but what he's done for me anyway, you know, I'm very grateful. And you could see it from the outside, like when you've seen Australia play, or even when West played, like just how united you were, and you could see that the team come first, but the respect he had from every single player that took the field. Yeah, that's what you want as a coach.
Yep.
Yeah. Mate, why I choose Struddys is just they're for us, they're for players, they're for what we want to do, looking after us. You know, we talk about play and touch, the gear we play in. You know, you want to be comfortable. You want to make sure you're wearing some good gear. Yeah. Speak to us about what you know, what do we like? What's the gear for? What's the material, you know? Yeah. What do you think this would be like in touch? Is it light? Is it too heavy? Yeah, I'm just grateful like to Ross, Michael, Jacob, to give me an opportunity to stay here. And I love them, man. Like what they do for me, like I wouldn't think of anybody else to be with.
Yeah, the best thing about them is it's so family orientated. You know what I mean? Like it's you know, I've been with other people that might, you know, look after you in boots and all that sort of stuff. But you know, these guys, they're sort of more invested in who you are. You know what I mean? And it's like you said before, it's sort of pretty cliche, but it's like, you know, if it's for the player, like they actually want to know what's best for you and even for like our family and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, you know, Ross, my son plays basketball, as you guys are aware, but Ross comes down to basketball. He might be watching his grandchildren and stuff like that, but he'll see Brooklyn, he'll watch him, he'll ask him questions and communicate and stuff and talk to him. And then, you know, Michael's constantly ringing us and seeing how the kids are, how the family is and stuff like that. You don't sort of get that anywhere else either, you know what I mean?
No,
so
definitely.
We're constantly going in there, we're catching up with them, we're having a chat, and we're seeing around, you know, what's new in Struddys as well. So they make us feel a part of the actual company at the same time.
Even like just giving us, like when they give us gear, just to try out to see what is, you know, good for us and for the club. And like we have a club and it's hectic, like we're just sending in orders and they just work with you, you know what I mean? And it's like unbelievable, like the service we get from them. And it's all about the family actually. Like his kids play with our kids, you know what I mean? We're all one big family. So.
It's funny, look, you know, we're in a sport and a company that's all family orientated. Like we do anything for families, but we talk about it in touch, like, you know, your whole family plays, your whole family's played. They're in obviously other sports as well, but you know, touch is about that, and the Struddys is the same as touch, man. Like as you said, you go to photo shoots to try out the new gear, and there's kids everywhere of family members, and they're, hey, how are you? What do you play? And you just can speak to them. It's just, I think it's just perfect.
Yeah, 100%. Man.
And they only keep getting better and better. Like everything they produce and everything they want us wearing, we want to wear. They just keep going. Yep, we'll give that a crack, see how it goes. Yeah. You know, these boys have got hats on now that probably aren't out anywhere, but when you're playing them, they're so light, they're so good to wear. Yeah. I don't see anybody else doing that for their ambassadors or part of their family. Yeah.
I think one thing would be a lot of people looking out, like even on watching it on TV and turning up to games and all that sort of stuff, is just how fast the game is and how skilled the game is. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of people, there's, what is it, the highest participant sport in Australia, is it? Or one of them?
1.5, I'm going to make this up, but over 1 million participants.
But they're all playing local footy, you know, at local comp and stuff, which is a little bit different to the standard that we've been playing at, you know what I mean? So, I'll just say the skill level and the speed that the game's played at as well is something that most people don't realise, do you know what I mean? Especially like a lot of the NRL boys you might see, you know, we do that NRL touch premiership, but I don't know if everyone's in behind it, you know, a lot of them like Benji and all those guys, Sean Johnson, all that, are back the touch football world, but then you've got the real leagueies that are probably like, oh, it's just touch footy, you know what I mean? But they don't actually understand or probably appreciate what goes in to the actual games as well, you know?
I think like now, like they're really trying to get people to play the sport, now. Yeah. Especially NRL, like rugby, like all those top players, they're all touchies, you know what I mean? And I think it's good, but like as soon as you jump out on, like if you play an elite game, it is like quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
You know, like, and the skill level is totally different. Like it might sometimes on TV it doesn't look as good.
Yeah, 100%.
But when you're out there playing it, it's another level, you know what I mean? It's pretty hard.
I think it's a lot more technical than people think too. Like obviously the game's evolved. So, you know, we've all been around since early 2000s to 2020s, and we see what the game's doing now to what it did, you know, 20 years ago. Like there's no way you're talking to sub-box about what you're going to run on the field. Yeah. Like there was no way you did that 20 years ago. You sit there and try to catch your breath and go, I just want to survive. But no, I think the technical aspect, now me going into a coach, it's like you got to be more technical. You got to be aware of what's going on, what everybody's doing, how they get off the field, how they get on the field, what players you can pick on when you're attacking, what players don't you go near when they're defending.
Yeah. That's one thing I don't like though. Coming into moving forward into the next sort of generation, it's all sort of like you just said before, it's all sort of trying to preempt everything. So it's all like, okay, so what are we going to run out there? It's not so much eyes up playing footy. Do you know what I mean? Like it's sort of gone off those days. Like,
yeah, a little bit, eh?
There's Hornsby and all those guys who I know anyway that used to play the eyes up footy, and it used to be very hard to stop because if we don't know what we're running, well then the defence doesn't know what they're running. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then you've got like the likes of Doyle, who's such a dominant side these days, that everything's preempted. It's like, yeah, okay, we're going to go out there, we're going to do this, we're going to run this, we're going to run that. You know what I mean? So it's sort of changing a bit, and then the defence, then they start rolling back to the defence, rolling back to the line to stop them from getting the momentum up the field. So then that sort of conquers that. It's constantly changing. You know what I mean? So who knows what's going to be next?
Yeah, I think like obviously moving forward as a coach, like I got to coach you two boys this year. Like I want to be technical getting off the field, but like getting on the field, like you got to trust your players.
Yeah.
Especially at an elite level. Like there's guys who've been playing for 20, 30 years. There's guys that are, we talked about Chris Lennon before. He's top of the game.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that he don't know what he's doing half the time. He's just natural speed, knows how he plays.
Yeah.
And that's where some of the greats are. Like some good players need that structure. But I feel that the elite sport, I think in 3 or 4 years' time it could go back to the old free lay because
Hope so.
the way it is now, it's easy to break down if you can coach it defensively.
Yeah.
But that's where I see some teams struggle when you just throw, like you don't even know what you're doing and then you just go on the back of whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the fast feet, the snippy blokes, you know what I mean? It's a hard thing.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like we talked about before, the players that have come from NRL that are in NRL now come back. Like Princey played NRL, played touch, then NRL. But like look at the women's side. You look at the NRLW, man, and there's 3 or 4 players per team that have played touch football at a high level. Like Tamika Upton, probably arguably the best player in the game. She played for Australia Women's at 17 and then went and played league, and she wouldn't, I don't think, be where she was without touch football. Taryn Aitken, Emma Veron, the list goes on. A lot of training. I'd say like trying to get into elite touch, you sort of got to work hard. There's a lot of players out there that are naturally gifted, but they work just as hard as probably everybody else. But I feel like if you can work hard in any sport really and put in the work off the field, you can achieve anything. Like this, we talk about, I think like if it was me trying to come forward and go, I want to crack men's, man, I'd probably touch 2 nights, 3 nights a week if I was young. The more games you can play, the better you're going to get.
But a lot of it, I feel these days, a lot of it's attitude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Has to be, like their attitude, it's a lot like the working class man these days, like owning businesses and stuff now. You try and find workers these days and they're just expecting $1,000 for nothing. So you put that back into the sports side of things, they just expecting a lot for not doing a lot as well. Like, do you know what I mean? Like they just expect to just get picked up into teams and be doing things. But you need to actually, you crawl before you walk is a saying that I've always used, like going through things. Like I've done it, Drum's done it, you know what I mean? Like even though he would have been 17, probably the sharpest person on the touch field, but guess what? He probably wouldn't have been the person setting up all the tries when he's alongside Stanton and, if there was bench there earlier, there's always a process to go. Do you know what I mean? So even though you've got the ability to do X, Y, and Z, there's still a process and a stepping stone, you know what I mean? Like you got to earn your stripes.
Yeah, agree.
Makes sense. So
I've seen a lot of talented players get beaten from guys like, overtaking them from guys that just work hard. You know what I mean? Like you could be the most talented player out there, but if you don't put in the hard work now, like the game's gotten too fast, you know what I mean?
Bro, it happened on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Bro, it happened on Wednesday night. We've got Lennox and Kaya, 2 of the sharpest dudes in the game, man.
Yeah.
And, we're bro, they should blow us off the park, their young team. But, they just stuck to doing the same old stuff and then we ended up
older heads,
getting over the top of them. So that was just... that's sort of a perfect example, to be honest. You know what I mean? They just didn't change their style of game. We didn't change our attack. They just thought they were going to get over the top of it. It didn't work out for them in the end, but they should pump us. And let me tell you, next season, they probably will pump us. So.
But at the start of the game, like they had us, like we were blowing.
Yeah.
And like I think we just outsmarted,
Yeah.
And I think it comes to what you said before, like they expect to win.
Yeah.
Like they probably turned up going, we're going to win. They're probably going to have 10 players there. They got nothing, but they probably don't realise between, your 2 heads and probably Normo would have played, I guess, like 3 of the smartest blokes playing on the field to ever play the game. It's like, well, we can slow the game down and take you off your game plan. You're not going to be successful. And we've seen it all, like we've been those young fellas before, and we've seen people in our clubs work hard, and you go, fuck, I want to be like that guy.
Yeah, 100%, bro.
And then you see these fellas now, and like, you know, those two boys especially, so talented. If they worked, I reckon, a little bit harder and sort of fit into a mould, man, that they can go anywhere.
They can.
You hear it all the time, even in other sports. I hear it in my son's basketball. I hear it in my daughter's basketball. You know what I mean? I tell my kids straight. If they play good, they play good. If they play bad, I just tell them how to fix their game. You know what I mean? But then you hear some people going to their kids, "Oh yeah, you've done really well like this," and I'm like, "What's going on here?" You know what I mean?
No Macca's on the way home for you, brother.
My car rides home after touch. It's arguments galore.
Touch 101.
With the wife and with the kids, and I'm like, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, and it just goes in the ear, out the other.
Dream mixed team. Can't pick either of you two. Anyone's played the game.
Right.
Take a bit of time to think, because like, you're going to start rattling names off, and they'll be like, "Oh shit, I forgot about him. What about her?"
Yeah, we're going to be leaving some
There's
few
some
out.
big people out there. We'll apologise now to people that if we forget someone.
I'll go old school.
If you don't pick Emily, you're in trouble, bro.
I'll go Bus, Fredo, and Remus for the boys, and then for the girls, I'll go Emily, Sammy, and Sharon Williams.
Tick the boxes, bro. Good boy.
Have to.
I reckon three guys. Remus would definitely be one. Benji, and I'd probably go
Any
a bit.
defenders?
Yeah, I would go a bit modern actually. I'd actually put Chris Leonard going on form at the moment, bro.
No
Go on.
defenders.
That's fine. Let us score tries.
More tries, eh?
The women, I'd go Emily, Bo De La Cruz, and Christy Judd.
Mine, has to be Ree. Benj would be there, and I reckon I'd go. It's hard.
No, you can't put yourself.
No defenders.
Yeah, and probably Chris Lennon at the moment. Like he isn't like even like scratched the surface yet, but you can tell where he's. You know what I mean? Like he's got everything
in
at
the
the moment.
21,
in the last
22.
series.
Yeah. And then I'd go Bo. Who else was there? Yeah, Sharon Williams would be up there, and Em. Em was every time we play mixed with Em, she's going to have on your side. So probably Em.
We talk about the GOAT debate in our sport. I'll give you can pick a man and a woman. Same thing, like we leave people off the list here, but like for me, the greatest of all time, we can't use you two, which is pretty tough to sort of talk about it against you two, but for me, being from New South Wales, I'd say someone like Bus Boland, such a great player, good bloke off the field, good coach. Like whenever you watch Para play, he was always great for him. And then women, I can't go past Bo. Like Bo, when she played touch, was so far advanced than most people. She could throw both ways. She was just something the women game never seen, and she just could take. I remember the Barbarian side one year made a women's final, and she just had 4 or 5 try assists in a grand final. You're like, wow, that'd be my top 2.
It's tough, man, because I didn't watch a whole heap of Bus growing up. It's like the guys that I named in that mixed side was pretty much guys that I'd seen, I just knew, I heard of. Even Remus, I played a little bit with him in the older age groups, and he's still a freak back when he's older. But at his younger age groups, I'm just not. Yeah, I heard he's just a freak. But I would have to say, after watching him and stuff as well, I'd have to put Fredo up there, just because I just remember some freakish times, man, when he used to come to the Central Coast when I was a young fella, and bro, he'd just get run around guys or get intercepts, and just the amount of how quick he was up and down the field.
Yellow 3/4 trackies.
Yeah, still had those.
Ugly, yeah, they are ugly.
But and as for women, I'll say Ems as well, just because just when growing up with her as well at that age group, she was always so dominant at that age group, and coming through the women's, she was always one of them up the very top as well.
It was hard because I didn't really like Scott and Bob and that used to play against my old man, like they're from Queensland. But I heard a lot about them. Didn't really get to watch them much, like Bus, Fredo, those sort of boys either. But when I was a kid growing up, I always watched like Remus, like going to touch tournaments to go watch him play, and it was like the whole crowd would just go to watch him. And he's had
so
that walk, that swagger.
Yeah.
He's still got it now, and he's
Similar
like
walk
50
to
years. But yeah, he's got that swag, that big lean, and he just he owned it, bro. And he was touch back in New Zealand, Peter Walters was like one of the greatest as well, but Remus just had that swag. And when I was a young kid growing up, you know, you wanted to
Be like him.
be like that, you
Yeah,
know.
100%.
And he changed, like, he made touch, like, cool, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In New Zealand.
Yeah, 100%.
And then for women, it's Bo, like, even though we were pretty close in that, but she led, she was miles, I thought, ahead of the girls back then.
We talk about Remus, right? Like, it's a crazy story people don't know about. Like, that's where shutdown defence came from.
Yeah.
It was around him.
Yeah.
Where a bloke had the ball in the middle of a field, could step 2 or 3 people and run away. So Australia thought about, well, what we're going to do is send 2 people on you and it's going to cut you down and we should cut everybody out of the game.
But I think Benj could have been the same too. Like, if he stayed in the sport, you know what I mean? I know he went to league. He was...
Yeah.
Well, you'd seen him play. You played
I've
with
seen
him.
them go toe-to-toe one-on, like, and it was pretty mean.
And you've obviously played against him. Like, there was, you know, state cups. He's come back and played for West and just made the whole crowd turned up and just watched him double step someone. And went, oh, well, how do you stop someone like that on the field where they can double step someone and throw a 20-metre cutout pass? Someone else, isn't he? On the lounge.
But he's
So it would have been interesting to see how, like, if he kept playing it, you know, how far he would have gone to. Like,
we played Australia, mixed it in 03, so...
No, he should come back. He should come back and play. Is he older than you or what?
he's younger than me.
Is he?
But Masters, we'll get him back.
games?
We'll get him back.
If we had to pick one game to stand out, my career, man, was the 2021 NTL men's final. We played CQ. We played him in the round games, I think day 1, lost 9-8 on a hooter. We won NTL. We ended up winning the NTL that year. We 1-0 at half time, I'm pretty sure. We scored with 20 seconds to go in the first half. It was 0-0 for 19 and a half minutes. Just defensive based. 4-4 was a full-time score. I think Marcus Holmes scored in the corner to get it back to 4 with about 2 minutes to go, and then we went into a drop-off. And yeah, same thing, sort of thing. We trained for it, what we would do if we got to a drop-off, and we had this man here come on the field, sweep, jump over some little kid, score a try in the corner. Like, Sharks hadn't won since 2010 or 11, I'm pretty sure. So we were sort of like, fuck, we've just won. And it was probably the best game I've ever been involved in. Like, just the whole crowd, especially with Sharks, bro, like, the region was on the hill, the whole hill was screaming. And then just to see what he did at, you know, late 30s, player of the tournament, you know, in the last 30 seconds, we held him out, bro. It was, probably the best game ever I've been involved in, for sure.
I'd have to. Mine's a bit of a different one, man, but one that stands out. We went and played. Whakatane, as I think it was Sydney. Was it Sydney Galaxy or was it Aussie Galaxy? Sydney.
Aussie. Was I on the team that year?
Yeah. And Willie Bishop and all those boys, Gaz. We ended up playing. Anyway, when you go over there, obviously they don't really like the Aussies coming over and trying to dominate their tournament. So we played, but I was young back then as well, and it was just the best experience for me, just seeing all the culture and like experiencing their culture and how much it sort of meant to them as well. You know what I mean? Like, it was only like their clubs and stuff over there, but they're just so into it and just love it. You know what I mean? So we versed Bullets, I think it was in the grand final. And before the game, I remember just having a chat to a few of the boys, and I was sort of like, oh, okay, yeah, sweet, this guy over here, Mikey, I don't remember his name, super quick, just don't let him get on the outside of you or whatever. And I'm like, oh, yeah, it should be all good, won't have to worry about that, like, you know. And then, sure enough, we get to a drop-off, and I'm in the defence. And we're defending. Yes, I know I'm not usually defending, but I'm defending, right? And Willie Bishop's there next to me as well, and you wouldn't expect
two great
him to
defenders.
Right?
Jesus, we're going well here.
So here we are going, man, like, you know, we're going man on, and Will's is just like, bro, go make the touch. And I'm like, no, I can't make the touch. That's your guy there. So anyway, I make the touch, get back on side, and I'm back in the middle. He's done the old come over to the left-hand side. And then next minute, they've switched up Mikey. And I'm like, oh, shit, here we go. This is on here. So he's come in, Mikey's come up, made the touch on the 5, made the touch. I've pulled my corner like as hard as you could possibly pull. And old mate's just done the old run. And I'm just legging it across this line, dive. As you know, Whakatane, just a dust bowl, man. Yeah. I dive, dust is all up in the air, settles, and I'm just facing the dirt. Nah, no touch. They win the game on me. So everyone's just loving it. But like the crowd, the atmosphere was hectic. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was just something that I'll sort of never forget. It wasn't the best ending, but at the same time, I've just been to Whakatane last year as well and caught up with Mikey and that, having a beer with him. And it was just so cool, man, just seeing all those guys that just love touch footy, and we'll just reminiscing on stories like that. Like it was probably the best for me.
That is one of the best tournaments. It's the best tournament. I like going back to New
Yeah.
Zealand as well. Like it's awesome, bro. Just the atmosphere, you know, it's something different. Just all the people being around the field instead of the grandstands, eh?
Yeah.
Feels like there's more people and they're so passionate about their teams. But my game is my first year, my only year I kept in Australia. We were down in game 3 decider, and we were down by like 4 tries. I can't remember the year. I think.
No, neither.
I honestly can't remember the year, but it was my first year as captain, and we were down by about 4 tries with about 10 minutes to go, and like we were under the pump, and then Trad got us together on the sideline and just said, just go hard, pull your heads in.
Yeah.
And we come back and we won by 1 with about a minute to go.
Drumming scored 5 tries.
I scored the last one, but it looked good, but I didn't have the best tournament that one. So, but yeah, that was probably my favourite ever game because we were down, thought we were out, and we come back and won it.
That's one thing probably, I was probably at a career that I didn't get to play was Whakatane. Like you watch it now, but like you two boys have played it, like such a great tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the atmosphere.
Would you go back, play one more?
Yeah, I'm talking about going back again, like next year. But but Pete Walters is doing a big. He's collecting all the Aussie boys, so he's trying to get everyone. But Leno and Griffo and myself are probably going to go play Elements.
Yeah, nice.
But I need to go back. It's still my favourite tournament, so yeah, I'd love to get back there. But too many trips over my years, mate. So
I don't know, bro. You're still carving up, man.
100%, man.
shot, bro.